Okay, hello guys. So Lydia, my sister, if you're watching this, I'm wearing your shirt because you left it here. So yeah. Anyway, hi guys. I'm feeling pretty good today and I have two very ripe bananas right here, as y'all can see. So I was thinking I am going to make banana carrot cake bread today, and it's gonna be healthy and nutritious, and I know it's yummy because I tested the recipe for y'all yesterday and I made it for my parents and it turned out really well. It's even better. I would say it's honestly even better than my other banana bread that I make. It's just different, you know. This one's carrot cake banana bread, the other one's just banana bread. Also, someone just taught me the trick the other day of like, instead of tucking your shirt into your pants, you like tuck it into your sports bra underneath. And it actually really works. So anyway, if it just fell out, I don't know how people get it to stay. But my mom doesn't know I'm filming this, so she may pop in at some point. But also, I did tell you guys in my last Q&A that I didn't get through all of your guys' questions. So I thought we would bake and answer questions. Doesn't that sound so fun? So anyway, let's start. This recipe is not for me. I've never created a recipe, like a baking recipe before. So this is me doing someone else's recipe. So I'll put the recipe down below so y'all can follow along, but it's super yummy. I highly suggest it, but let's get right into it. So I'm first gonna get a bowl. So you're gonna preheat your oven to 350. So we'll do that. 350, and then it says to, in a large bowl, whisk the olive oil with the coconut sugar, and then add eggs and vanilla. Okay, so I'm gonna start answering the first question once I get my ingredients really quick. First question is, have I lived in Sacramento my whole life? That is a very good question. I grew up in Sacramento, so I was born and raised here. And then I moved to Los Angeles in, well, okay, hold on. So So I've lived wow, I can't talk. I've lived in Sacramento my entire life. Born and raised here. My family, well, my parents still live here. And then I went to BSSM, which is Bethel's. So Bethel is a church. I'm sure a lot of y'all know their music. If you don't, look them up. They're amazing. I went to their ministry school in I want to say 2018 or 2019. Oh, I'm so bad with dates. I think it might have been 2018. Went to BSSM and did that. So I lived in Redding for a year, and then in like 2019 moved to LA with Meredith and my friend Madison for a summer, and then did my second year at BSSM in Redding, and then moved to LA again, stayed there for this last year, and then now I'm back in Sacramento while I'm getting my health in order. So, but the next goal is to move to San Diego because I really want to live there, and my sister lives there, and that's looking like everyone and their mom that I know is moving there. So that's the next goal. But that probably won't be till this summer. So I'm here until I recover. So first question, done. Someone asked how to find patience while waiting for God to send the right man. Honey, we are all trying to figure that out right now. Kidding, kind of not kidding. I mean, that's hard. I totally get it. I feel like my mind has been so preoccupied right now with like literally just surviving because of my health that I honestly haven't really been thinking about that as much. I'm just trying to take it day by day. But especially when I was feeling well and my mind was not occupied with surviving, I definitely would think about that a lot and pray about that a lot, because one of my biggest desires is to get married and have a family, and I just hate doing life alone, as I think a lot of us do. So I think we all desire that. Anyway, that's not your question, but how do we stay patient? Well, you kind of just got to because we don't really have another option than to just wait. Also, if you hear any banging, my mom's like building a fence outside, so that's why. So I'm mixing the olive oil, vanilla, and the coconut sugar in here. I just enough coconut sugar, which is great. So I have this analogy that I think of in my head. And basically I have this image in my head of you're walking hand in hand with Jesus, and he is the way, the truth, and the life. As long as you are following after Jesus, excuse me, Mr. Plane, not the time. We're giving a spiritual analogy here. Okay, bro, I'm sorry. Okay, so Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And as long as you are following Jesus, and as long as you're walking in the direction of pursuing him, he is always walking in the way of healing. He is always walking down the best possible path for your life. And so as long as you're following after him, you're going to pass by healing. You're going to pass by your future husband, your future wife at some point. You're going to pass by righteousness. You're going to be walking in that direction, if that makes sense. So as long as you're following after Jesus, walking with him, at one point or another, you are going to pass your future spouse, and Jesus isn't going to be like, oh, dang it, they missed it. Like they were too focused on me. They missed their opportunity to meet their future spouse. No, Jesus is going to give you that little nudge. He's going to be like, hey, see that girl over there? You see that guy over there? Yeah, you should go talk to them. So he will let you know. And so how to be patient? I mean, just let go. Like literally just let go. Understand that the more tightly you hold on to it, the harder it's gonna be. And you're just, making it harder on yourself. And there's just no point in worrying about it, because it's all gonna happen how it's meant to happen as long as you're following Jesus. And how to be patient practically, just like fill your time with useful things. Be pursuing the things that you believe God has put on your heart to do. Pursue your passions, pursue your callings, pour into other people, find ways to fill your time with serving others and blessing others. Just find creative ways to just get outside of yourself and be serving and doing things, because it's really hard to dwell on yourself when you're out serving other people. So I would just say focus on Jesus first and foremost. Get outside of yourself, use your extra free time to either be pursuing your passions or serving other people, and just be patient. And like, it is hard, trust me. Like I want to be married, so I totally get it. But I just think that we aren't meant to be really concerned about that part of our life, because Jesus has got it. Okay, so add in eggs and vanilla. So we got 2 eggs. How many times do you burp a day? Well, honestly, Linnea, first off, thank you for your shirt. Second off, probably a lot, because my stomach is healing and I don't really fart, I burp. Fun fact about me. I know you guys were all dying to know that. So I would guess probably about 15 to 20 times a day, because my stomach isn't digesting things right now very well. She probably wasn't expecting me to like actually answer that question, but I did, because I'm an open book. I don't care. Okay, this one I'm gonna answer, because I honestly on this channel haven't really talked very much about my time at BSSM, which I talked about a little bit earlier. But BSSM is, so if you guys know Bethel, they're a ministry, they're a church. They're based in Redding, California, which is Northern California. They are really well known for their band, for their music. And that's what a lot of them are known for, but they also have a ministry school. Ministry school there, you can do up to 3 years there, but you can literally do 1 year. Hi, Mama.
Hi.
You want to be in the video?
No, thank you.
No?
No, not today.
I'm baking more of the bread and I'm answering questions from people.
Well, good.
Come
So
say
pleasant.
hi.
No.
Why?
I've been gardening.
You
Trust
look
me,
beautiful.
People. Trust me, people, you don't want to see me.
Mom, what are you in 20 years you're gonna look back in 20 years and be like,
I am. I'm going to look back and go, oh, look at how fantastic I look.
Isn't she so cute? This is my best friend.
This is my gardening look.
I love her so much.
I kind of love her too.
Good.
Just a little.
Because I talk your ear off all the time.
This bread needs to be shared far and wide.
It does.
Fantastic.
Wasn't
yeah.
it good?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's not my recipe, but it's good. I'm answering the question, what is BSSM like? And this girl asked a question because she's going to BSSM, and she was like, any advice for going to BSSM?
Oh, well, good.
Yeah. I loved it.
I know. I was going to say you had a good experience.
A really good experience, yeah. And I haven't really talked about it very much on...
Now's your chance.
Now's my chance.
Do it,
to
Brianne.
spill the beans. So, BSSM. I loved BSSM. I genuinely am a completely different person after BSSM. It's so funny because it's a long story. I won't get into it. But basically, my friend Madison, she decided to do it. And I thought it was just like for new believers. Like I was like, oh, that's sweet. She's doing this like ministry school. I didn't really think it was gonna be, I never thought it was something that I'd be interested in. At the time, I wasn't going to school. I was just working. And I kind of just was seeking God on next steps for my life. And it was like right after high school. Excuse me. See, just burped. So she was doing it basically the night before school, the night before BSSM was going to start, like the school was starting. God spoke to me very clearly a night after work, and he told me to apply for BSSM. I applied for BSSM. Long story short, I was like one of the last people they accepted. I last minute reeled in my best friend Erica and my sister Linnea to come do it with me. We all miraculously got a house together. Then my brother ended up moving there. A bunch of my friends ended up moving there too. So we had this house of like 8 or 9 people, and it was so fun. And so we did that for a year. And then I did second year, and then it was just Madison and I, and everyone else didn't do second year. Basically what I'm saying is BSSM is so good, guys. I genuinely believe that if every person in the world did 1 year of BSSM, our world would be a completely different place for the better. Like, they teach you identity. They teach you, it's so formative and it's so foundational. And especially if you're still growing in your faith, or if you feel like you have some inner healing that needs to be done, or you didn't come from a Christian background, I would 100,000,000% recommend it. Yeah, it was a super interesting experience. There are definitely so many things I learned there. I came out of it completely different person. I am more mature. I'm more grounded in my faith. The Lord did such a deep healing work in me, and I didn't even know that I needed a deep healing work in any area, but I was walking through an eating disorder at the time. I got completely free from that there. I really learned the value of community, and I just attribute so much. And the thing is, when I was in it, I didn't realize how much I was growing, but then looking back on it, I attribute so much of the wisdom that I have and the deep spiritual understanding I have about even like the spiritual realm and the kingdom of God and our identity in Christ. All of that, pretty much all that I can attribute to BSSM. So this girl who is saying that she's going there, you're gonna love it. Just go in with an open heart, open mind, and I just really highly suggest to make that time just you and God. Whether you're there for a year, whether you're there for 2 or 3 years, just focus completely on God. See it as almost like you're going on a faraway retreat, and it's just you and God for a year, and just dive into that. Don't get caught up in boys and all that stuff there. Unless God brings you someone, of course. So that's my advice. Okay, so I'm kind of falling behind on this recipe right now. Okay, almond flour. Then we're gonna do tapioca flour and then coconut flour. Someone asked, what YouTube accounts do you watch the most right now? So, because I've been recovering with my health, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. Let me give you guys my top channels. Okay, I love Tori and Chad Masters. They're cuties. I also watch a lot of Better Together, like all of their sermons and a bunch of girls talking together. It has like Lisa Bevere, Christine Kane, a bunch of people on there. Really good, love their conversations. I watch Kristen Johns, Whitney Simmons, Sean Bowles. I love Sean Bowles so much. Here's some other ones. So I love Michelle Reed. She's really cute. Milena Ciciotti. Milena. What did I say? Milena Ciciotti? I don't know how to say her name. Cambria Joy. Shout out to my girl Cambria. I love Brooklyn and Bailey, actually. I watch their stuff. The Contis, like Jess and Gabe Conti, are good. I love Allison Bickerstaff? What is her last name? I don't know. I'll put it here. Okay, y'all, I need to get a move along on this. This is taking forever, and it should not be taking forever. Okay, so we got all of our flours here. We're just mixing it together. I don't really understand baking very much. Like, they always have you do the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients separately, and I don't really understand why. I'm like, why make more dishes? But I guess there's a science to it, so I'll respect the scientists, and I'm also afraid of messing this up. So I can show you guys, we got quite a mess going on here. Dry mix, wet mix. Now it's time to mash the wonderful bananas. Okay, so someone asked, what do I do for work? And so I'll kind of switch up that question, because I'm not working right now because of my health, and I'm not able to maintain a job currently because I am a cripple. I'm kidding, I'm not a cripple, but I just can't maintain a job right now. But I will switch up the question and tell you what I have done for work before. So my first ever job, this is so exciting. My first ever job, I worked at this place called Petroglyph, and they only have a few locations, one in Santa Cruz, one here in Sacramento. I think they have another one somewhere. Basically, it's a ceramic painting lounge is what it's called. Sounds so fancy. And people will go there and they will pick out a little ceramic piece, and they will sit down with their family or their grandkids or by themselves, and they'll paint it. So I basically would help. I would like basically run the shop because it was pretty small, and I would teach people how to paint. A lot of kids would have like birthday parties there, and so I would like help manage those birthday parties, and we also would glaze and fire all of the little pottery pieces in the back, and we would take them out of the burning hot kiln, and we would like shave them down and everything. So that was my first ever job. I think I got that job when I was like 18. Funny story at that job. Okay, so we're working with these like kilns that literally, I'll have to look up how many degrees they get to, but it's like thousands of degrees. Like, it gets really, really hot. And so you basically take a lot of time to stack a ton of these people's art pieces in. And on average, people would spend probably like anywhere from like 2 to 5 hours on these pieces. And so people would stay there like all day working on these pieces if they're like super dedicated. So we try to be really, really careful with the pieces while we're managing them and getting them burned and glazed and everything, because it's pretty devastating to tell a kid or even an adult that spent a full like 3 days work on this piece that you dropped their piece or something. So it's pretty important that you are careful. So I was one night working with the kilns, and I don't even know what I was thinking, but my manager left me alone that night, and it was like my first night closing alone. And she said something about unloading the kiln, and I couldn't remember which one she said to unload. And I was like pretty new to the job, so I couldn't tell how to read which one was finished and which one was still running. Anyway, long story short, so in these kilns are like stacks, like cement stacks of shelves with, we probably fit about 40 pieces in there at one time, maybe even more. I think like 40 though. So imagine 40 people's stuff in there. And it was like 10 o'clock at night. I opened the wrong kiln. It is blazing, people. Like, first off, literally burnt my face because of just the air that came out. It was so hot. definitely like in the middle of burning, and I shut it immediately. And usually guys, when with a kiln that hot and as fragile as those ceramic pieces are, any sort of cold air hitting those pieces, it's like guaranteed that all of them, if not at least some of them, would have completely shattered or cracked. So I didn't know what to do because I like just started working there. I did not want to lose my job. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to freak my manager out by telling her that I did this, because who knows, maybe nothing happened and it'll be fine in the morning and I can kind of just like act like it didn't happen. So that probably wasn't the right way to go about it, but I literally put my hand on that kiln and I said, Lord, protect these pieces in here. If anything's broken, I pray in the name of Jesus that you would heal it. And guys, I went back the next morning and I was just like, hey, like, how did all the pieces turn out? Everything. Like, I was so terrified. They were all totally fine. There wasn't a single crack or anything. So that was literally the grace of God. That was my first job. I liked that job. It wasn't my favorite. So then after that job, I really wanted to start working at Trader Joe's because I had heard that it was like such a fun place to work. They pay well. And it just seemed really fun. And I love Trader Joe's and I love their products. And I always thought it'd be so cute to work at a grocery store. So applied there. They weren't hiring because like they're never hiring. And so I was super bummed about that. So in the meantime, I just got this job at Costco. Yes, I worked at Costco. Y'all, this is not to diss on Costco at all because I still shop there. God bless those people, but holy smokes, that was a terrible job. I was little old me. They would throw out in like 100 to 105 degree weather. I would be out there for like 3 to 4 hours at a time pushing those massive carts. And they say that they want you to push 10 at a time, but they're like, you can push 8 if you really need to, but that's like for the weaklings basically. So I'm out there, little old me, for like 3-4 hours at a time, sweating. And the dress code is you have to wear like button up, like collared shirts, or you have to wear, like you can't wear like anything revealing. You have to be like business casual, and then you have to wear jeans. And so I was out there in jeans and this like tight top, sweating my brains out, pushing these massive carts in this huge parking lot, and I'm going uphill at some points. And I have literal customers coming up next to me in their cars. They're like rolling down their windows and I'm out there like pushing these carts. And they're like, why do they have you out here doing this? And I'm like looking at them. They're like, why don't they have the guys out here doing this? Like, you should not be out here. They were like so mad that my managers were putting me out there because I just looked like so little and like I should not be doing something like that. And I thought it was hilarious. So, and they would always forget my lunch. Like, they forgot so many people's lunches at the location I worked at. And so I would go so long at a time. Like, I would have to go in and I'd be like, hey, it's been like my shift is like almost over and I still haven't had my lunch. And they're like, oh, okay, like I'll like try to remind someone. And then they put it off for like another hour or two. It was like so unorganized and bad. So anyway, I worked there for like 2 months, which that was terrible. And they would always ask me to stay later. They're like, can you stay later? I'm like, no, please let me go home. I don't want to stay later. And then they'd make me feel bad if I didn't stay late. Sorry, I know I feel like I sound like I'm talking garbage about Costco. It was pretty much only my location, I think, because my brother worked at another location around here and he said it was a lot better. So it was just management there. But anyway, and then my best friend Erica got a job at Trader Joe's and I was like, what? They're hiring? And so I immediately, behind Costco's back, went and applied for Trader Joe's. And Trader Joe's, got the job with them, quit my job at Costco, and got to work with my best friend Erica at Trader Joe's. So that was super duper fun. I've worked at so many different Trader Joe's locations, guys. I worked at one here in Sacramento, then I worked at one in Redding, and then I worked at one in LA, and then I worked at a different location in LA, and then I came back and worked at this one in Sacramento at some point in between school. So I've worked at so many different locations. They're like such an amazing company to work for. Highly suggest it. They pay really well, give you raises all the time. It's such a good job to have, especially while you're in school. Super flexible too if you ever need to transfer. Okay, so this has taken forever, but we have the batter. Now I'm just gonna shave the carrots and put the carrots in here, and we're gonna do walnuts and raisins, and we'll make it yummy. So, no one asked me this question, but I'm gonna answer it anyway. What is my favorite vegetable? Because I know you guys are all so curious. Well, I love vegetables so much. I actually have always loved vegetables. When I hear people say they hate vegetables, I'm always like, I literally don't understand. I feel like I should be closer to you guys. Because vegetables are so good. I'm like, okay, you obviously haven't had them prepared properly because they're phenomenal. Okay, first off, Brussels sprouts are so good. Like roasted Brussels sprouts, a Brussels sprout salad, like holy smokes, love Brussels sprouts. I love asparagus and like steamed broccoli. Something about steamed broccoli is like so fire. I love salads. Like salads are like my favorite food. I think they're so good. There's this place in LA. It was called, oh no, I'm sorry. There's this place in Nashville. Oh my gosh. I think it's called Tender Greens. I'll put a picture here of whatever it was. Oh my Lord. I could eat that every single day. It was so good. I would either, you could just like a big chopped salad with a bunch of toppings on it. I would either do steak or I'd do chicken or I'd do like half steak, half chicken. Oh my gosh, it was so good. So I'd say that. So we ran out of raisins, so we did chocolate chips instead. And so this is gonna be a pretty thick batter, which is good, but I'm just gonna mix this really quick. And usually what I do is I cut out a piece of parchment paper just to go on the bottom, and then I use coconut oil to like plaster it to the bottom, rub coconut oil along the sides, and it doesn't stick. Some thick, thick batter. We're gonna pop her in the oven. Okay, just got back from the walk, listening to Taylor Swift. Nothing new here, but the bread came out. Luckily my mom was home to take it out because otherwise it would have burned. This right here, y'all, is the finished product. Very doughy, very thick. She looks lovely. So there she is, she's all done. And I promise you guys, I can even show you the finished product. This is after we like cut into it. You can see it's really good texture, perfectly moist and bready. But yeah, thanks for spending this time with me, and it was really fun. Thanks for all the questions. And go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you guys want to be a part of my next Q&A that I do, because then you guys can input your own questions. But seriously, if you guys make this bread, which I highly suggest you do, please tag me, post it on your Instagram stories, tag me, let me know how you like it, and I'll repost you. So anyway, I love you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!